Hey superstars, it's your girl Malika, aka Ms. Magic, back with another video. Today we are rib stacking, and what I mean by rib stacking is we're cooking a batch of ribs. I'm doing 8 slabs at one time, and they'll be done within an hour and a half. But first, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Give me a big thumbs up and hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when I do post another video. All right, guys, let's get straight into this video. We are cooking these ribs and they are going to be perfectly seasoned, perfectly tender and moist. All right, let's get started. First things first, we have to clean our ribs. We got to get all that slime and garbage, whatever, off the ribs. I like to use lemon. You can use lemon, lime, whatever you choose, but let's get these ribs clean. I go ahead and I squeeze them with lemon after I've rinsed them out, after they come out the package. So we go ahead and scrub them with a little lemon. Next thing we have to do is pull off those membranes of each of those ribs. This ensures that your ribs will be nice and tender and juicy. So go ahead and pull that membrane off the back. This is how many ribs I'm going to go ahead and barbecue today. Now we have to prepare them. Once I get started, I'm going to use a mustard binder. You can use whatever kind of binder you like, or you can use oil. You can use whatever you like. You don't have to use a binder, but I like this because it makes sure that your seasoning adheres perfectly to your ribs. If you want to marinate your ribs, that's fine as well. I do not, because my ribs always turn out wonderful and I always get a lot of compliments. So now we're going to just rub in your mustard on all of your ribs. Next, you're going to go ahead and season those ribs. I'm using a dry rub that I got from Aldi. It's fine. Make sure you season them to perfection. Don't skimp on the seasoning. Keep seasoning until you can't see no more ribs. It should be all seasoning on top. Just like I'm doing here, I'm going to do this to all 8 of my ribs. Now, once that seasoning is getting set on those ribs, we're going to go ahead and light our charcoal. I use a water pan on one side. I'm doing indirect heat. I use a water pan on one side and charcoals on the other. Let's go ahead and light these charcoals. You can light your charcoals however you want with a chimney. I went and used lighter fluid. I know they say that's a no-no, but that's what I do. That's how I learned how to do ribs. So maybe one day I will get a chimney, but right now it's lighter fluid. So go ahead and light those coals, and we want to get them nice and lit. And we are not going to put those ribs on until that coals are nice and white. Once our coals are nice and white, we are ready to start doing our ribs. Oh, and guys, because I got so many compliments on these ribs, I have to tell you about that Kingsford cherry barbecue wood chips that I put on my coals. After they are nice and white, go ahead and use some chips. I use these cherry wood, and I have never got as many compliments. I always get compliments, but I've never got as many compliments as I've done this time. So I use the Kingsford cherry chips, and you just put them on directly on top of the coals right before you get to barbecuing, and let those barbecue chips get to smoking. Now we're ready for the good part, baby. It's time to cook our ribs. We're going to go ahead and put those ribs seasoned part down on the ribs. If you season all over, that's fine too, but I feel there's no reason to do that. So go ahead and put it down. Now we're going to get a nice char on our ribs. If you do not like your ribs charred, just leave them on for a little while. But I like a little crust on mine. I really don't know who don't, but if you don't, yeah, we got to get that nice char. So I just go ahead and where it's charred at, if I want a little bit more charred on the ends, or if I leave a little bit out for some people who don't want char on there. Once again, I don't know who don't want char, but we're going to go ahead and char those ribs. And then once we do that, we'll go ahead and flip them over and get the back a little charred. Once you have them charred the way you want to, go ahead and move them over to your side with the water pan, which has no coals on it, and you just put your ribs to the side. All right, guys, and here's where our stacking comes in. As you see, I have 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. The next 2, you just go ahead and place them on top. and stack them right. You can stack them right on top of each other. I promise you they are all going to cook evenly with no worries. Just go ahead and stack those ribs right on top and you won't have to worry about a thing. Once you got your ribs all stacked up, now we're going to go ahead and just close that lid just like that. Put them on top of each other. I have a double. I do have a double, but you can do this with a single as well. Now we're going to go ahead and close our lid. Once our lid is closed, now you have to worry about our vents. I like to have my vents at least halfway closed. So I leave it halfway closed and halfway open, just like that. And before y'all get to asking me what temperature should it be on, where should be the gauge? Girl, I don't worry about no gauge or no temperature. Just put that lid down and let these ribs go for about 45 minutes to an hour. And bam, you got some perfectly smoked ribs. And how I know when my ribs are done, they are bendy. The juice is flowing out of them. And you can just kind of tell. Now I'm just going to cut through these ribs and give you all a sneak peek at how juicy and delicious these ribs are. All right, I'm going to pick it up and let you guys see. Look at that. Perfect smoke ring, perfectly charred. Ooh, baby, if these ribs weren't for somebody else, I would tear these ribs up. So basically your ribs are done, and now we're going to go ahead and let them maybe go for about 5 to 10 minutes more, just to make sure they're all nice and juicy. And if you're ever unsure, now I'm going to show you how to make sure your ribs are definitely done. You're going to use your thermometer, and you're going to make sure these ribs are at least 180 to 200 degrees. And this just ensures that your meat is nice and tender, and the fat has went into the meat and made them very fall off the bone. So remember, 180 to 200, and ribs are actually done at 165. But like I said, you want that meat to melt, and you want that fat to melt into your meat. But once you're at 180 to 200, you can go ahead and take your ribs off. Once you got your ribs back in the house, we're going to go ahead and cover them up with aluminum foil. I'm going to cover all my ribs, and I'm going to place them in a oven 175 degrees just to keep them warm. So now I can get ready to go to the barbecue and enjoy the fruits of my labor. All right, guys, this is me at the barbecue, sitting back and enjoying everyone coming up to me and telling me how wonderful my ribs were. I did cut them up into single pieces so that nobody would run away with 50 ribs. So I cut them up in single pieces, and everybody loved them. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me. Hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when I do post another video. I hope to see you guys in past, present, and future videos. Love you guys. Bye.